Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see how we can get a single and all the student record using our student resource. So let's get started. Here in our test, we are going to create another test case. We are going to call it get student. So let me come here and say we are going to get a test student. We don't need this. We don't need all this. So we are creating another endpoint that will get our student. So it's going to be API student like this, and then the value, the ID of the student. We don't need this. And then at the end, we want to check if a status. We don't need this. A status is equals to 200. Okay. So this is it. So now let's go and check and see. Yeah. So let's test our API. Don't forget, if you want to run your test, you have to go to this directly. Okay, you have to point to your test controller test. So let's run it and see. We're having an error and it's saying cannot redeclare. Oh, so cannot redeclare this function. Let's say test test we can get a student like this and save, and then we come here again. Let me clear it, and then we run our test again. What's happening here? And go up. We don't need this function. We don't need this. So clear again. Let's run our test. Something is wrong here. Oh, sorry, I didn't save the file. I've saved the file again. So clear. Run our test again. So our test is failing. Let's check why is our test failing. Test, we can create a student function post localhost. Okay, we don't have this function. We don't have this endpoint. We have to go and create it in our API, but this is going to be a GET request, and then we have to come to our API and create that. Okay, so we come here, it's going to be a GET request, and it's going to be students like this, students, and then we are going to get the ID of the student like this, and then the method that we want here is show. Okay, so let's clear and test again. It fails again. Let's see what's happening. Why is it failing? I have to go all the way up to see the error message. So here it's saying, oh, so now it's saying that the show method does not exist. So we have to go to our student controller class, student controller, and create the show method. So now the show method here is gonna say show. We don't need a request. We need integer by passing a parameter int id like this, and then we are saying students find or fail the student. Okay, and then we are returning the student record. By default, we don't need this because by default, if everything is successful, it's going to be 200. So let's save and come here and clear everything and test again. So yeah, so as you can see, we're having two tests pass. Our two tests are passing. This the first test and the last test are passing. So we are getting 900, so we are getting this student record. So for us to verify that, I think let's use our Postman to test it and see. So I'm using Postman to test my API endpoint. You can use any of the application that you want, but I will recommend Postman because I love it. All right, so I'm at Postman. So this is my endpoint. This is my endpoint. Localhost Laravel. This is my folder public API student dot is number 9. Okay. So yeah. So now this is the student record that we're getting from our API resource. So we can decide to customize this information and decide which information that we are going to be returning. Okay. So let's go back to our resource file. So if you come here, let's go back to our, sorry, if you go back to our resource, student resource, if we don't want to return, let's say we don't want to return the email address, for example, we can remove it here, and then if we go back to our Postman and enter again, you see we are not getting the email. And if we want to get like everything, for example, let's say we want to get the created art, for example. So we come here and say created art. We want to return this one also. So save, and then we come to Postman and then enter. So you see we are returning the created art. So now the API resource is serving as a template in where you can decide the information that you want to return to your end users that are going to consume your API. Okay. So now let's try to get all the student record. Okay, like all of it. Let's try and get it. So we don't need any parameter here. We just press enter. We're getting an error. Let's go and create our test case here. This is our student controller. So now let's create our test case again. Let's come here. Let me copy this. Let me test. We can get all students, and here we don't need any parameter. Okay, so now let's run it and see. Let's clear and run. Well, we're getting an error. Let's go all the way up. So now we don't have this endpoint. We have to come to API, and create the endpoint. Okay, and then our endpoint is going to be just like this. I'm going to say show all, for example, and then we save, and then we run our test again. Okay, another error again. Let's go up and check. Okay, show all method does not exist, so we have to come to our student controller and create show all method. So now copy this one out here and come here. So now the show all, we don't need any parameter, and then here all we need to do is say all like this, and then we are returning the result. Okay, so I think that's it. So if we come back here and clear and run our test again, wow, we are getting error. Cannot really declare show. Oh, it's gonna be here. It's going to be show all like this. The same thing with our API. Show all. Let me copy it from here to here. Okay, and then save, and then come back, clear, and then run the test again, and then it fails. Let's check and see what's making our test fail. If you go all the way up, our property ID does not exist. So I think the reason why we are getting this is because of I don't know. So I think let's go back to the documentation, to Laravel resource documentation, and see how to get all the users. Okay, So to get all our students, okay, this is what we need. Okay, let me just copy this guy and go back to our code. So this is all we need, I think. Let me paste. Okay, so all we need here is to, we don't need this. Yeah, so let's say like this, and then let's return our results here. So let's save it, and then let's come back to our test and test and see. So now you see 3 test pass and 7 assertion. So if you go back to our postman and try to get all the students now, let's try and get one student, which is like this, number 9. Yeah, this is one student, and if we want to get all our students, this is the endpoint, and enter. Yeah, so now this is all our student record. So now in the next video, I'm going to show you how we can run a single test, because right now we are running all the tests, all the 3 tests, like this one, this, and this one. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to run a particular test. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.